Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today we're doing what we call a good deed. My mother-in-law and father-in-law were basically out of firewood, and we got single-digit weather coming at us this weekend, and they had about, I don't know, maybe half a load or 3/4 of a load of firewood. And we get down to single digits. That's not a lot of wood. So Ben and Isaac and I came in here, and we're right behind their house. They've got, I think there's 30 acres of white oak timber in here. And these are some trees that were girdled last year. So that's a white oak. And I like to girdle them and leave them set for a year. And when you chop them down, there's not a whole lot of brush to stack. All the limbs fall off, and you're left with some beautiful heartwood and limbs. There's a lot of limb wood on these trees, but you can see this is the kind of wood you can stoke a fire with, and you'll have coals left in the morning. I mean, man, that is some beautiful stuff. I don't think there's any wood better than white oak. Maybe hedge. More BTUs per pound, but hedge, you got to be careful, folks, when you use hedge. You better mix something with it, because it will burn your stove up. It gets hot. White oak will get hot too, but it's not going to burn your stove up. So what we're doing is this wood is going down in the shop, so it'll be out of the weather, and we actually put a fan on it. Found out years ago, just putting a fan on it, kind of low speed for a couple of days, just an old box fan. Boy, it takes the moisture out of your wood. And you don't want moisture in your wood. The more moisture that's in there, the more creosote it builds up in your flue, and it takes heat from your wood to dry it out, so you're losing BTU. So I kind of like having my wood dry. It burns hotter, makes a nice fire, and yeah, we took one load out of here in the Dodge a while ago, and I mean, we left maybe 1.5 inch ruts. So I just told the boys, let's just take the father-in-law's garden tractor back here so we can get all of our stuff out of here, and we're gonna wait till it freezes. We're getting below 0 this weekend, so we won't have any trouble getting back here then, but I don't want to make ruts. So they've got enough wood at the house now to last them until after this cold spell, and it's supposed to hang with us for a while. So we've got enough wood here cut for all winter. And man, I mean, Ben and Isaac are just beasts. I think they're on their last pieces. Ben's picking on a really tough one. There's got some knots in it. And I don't see too much left down there that needs splitting. What's that splitting maul you got there, Isaac?
Well, you know,
what is it?
I got to give a huge shout out to my grandparents for buying me this 8-pound splitting maul.
Let me see it.
Giving me a lot more work to do.
Oh my gosh, look at that dude. That's 8 pounds?
Yeah.
That's a beast. And it's got a fiberglass handle in it?
Yep, I think so. Some kind of
yeah, it's composite.
A composite. Yeah.
It may, yeah, it's a tough handle.
Yeah. And
if you miss, you've got this big old rubber piece here to take. Have you missed today yet?
I don't think. Maybe once, twice. This wood's splitting so easy. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Ben, what's your splitter look like?
Greg Judy Special.
The Greg Judy Special. I put that. Yeah. So you can go to a farm store and get you an epoxy kit, and just pour epoxy in there. And yeah, you have been flat tearing up some wood with that.
We're almost done.
Yeah, I think we're there. Is there one right there, Ben? I think we're about there. We're ready to call it a day. We went through two chainsaws. I had 2 chainsaws that were sharp, and the blades are kind of dull now. And you know, when your blade gets dull on your chainsaw, that's a good time to stop. Well, look at that, one swing, boom. 6'7", and that thing's got a long ways to come down to the ground. Isaac's found one more there. But we're going to have a lot of good wood here, and this is going to be heartwood. 90% of this is heartwood. That's where you get all your heat. A lot of people, you know, they burn limb wood, and that's fine, whatever you got. I've got a kind of a standing joke with Isaac. He's from Michigan, and he said he drools when he sees this white oak wood that we have here in Missouri. I think they have to cut other types of trees, maybe not quite as, you know, it doesn't put out quite the BTUs that white oak does. But white oak is our main tree here in central Missouri. And father-in-law's got a whole bunch of trees in here. Here's one. This is one I've still got to cut. See, it's been girdled. See that? It's got a mark all the way around it. And well, there's some wood in that one. Look at that. There's not a whole lot of little limbs left on it. That dude falls, those limbs are going to bust off of there. I would say there's a good pickup load just in that one tree. Father-in-law did have this logged about 20 years ago, and I think they kind of boogered it up. There were lots of ruts, didn't hardly get anything for the logs, and just left a mess. And I think he kind of left a sour taste in his mouth. But, we're cutting along this logging road because it's easy to get the truck into, and we can drop them right in the logging road. We don't have to pack them up out of those draws. And we're down here, the Missouri River is just right through there. We're probably, I don't know, maybe 3 miles from the Missouri. And my in-laws live up on a bluff. It's beautiful back in here. Deer, turkey, just a beautiful place to retire. So yeah, it's just a nice brisk winter day. We did get some sun today, and I thought this was a good time to get down here and get this done so they can stay warm. I don't feel right. Some, you know, they're in their 80s, and we've got wood. They ought to have wood too. So we're gonna fix them up, and they'll be able to stay warm at night. And there's nothing, for those of you all that haven't backed up to a good oak fire, I can't explain it other than it feels good. You can hang your clothes up when you get in if they're wet, or you know, get sweat in them, and boy, they'll be dry in just a little bit. You can stand up to electric or gas heat and get warm, but it's just different. It's different heat. So we were raised on it. This is what we used growing up a lot. It's just kind of second nature. And Isaac, you all burn wood, don't you?
Yeah.
In Michigan?
We're not so spoiled enough to have this, all these white oaks.
What do you, you've got a long wood furnace, is that right?
Yeah. Yep, we have a furnace in our basement.
So you can burn like what, 3 foot stuff?
Not that long.
Like 2 foot?
2
okay.
foot, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a chute that goes down to our basement, so we throw it all down and stack it down there. We'll have the whole thing, the whole basement full of wood in the fall. But we go through it in a year.
Yeah, well, Michigan, it gets cold up there.
Yep.
Ben, do you all burn wood in Massachusetts?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
No, they moved.
There's no fireplace?
No fireplace in that house.
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty good heat source. It, you know, we had our power go out, ice storm. Ben missed out on that. He was back in Massachusetts, but Isaac and Jan and I, we were without power, and I was wondering about, you know, what people did to stay warm that night. We just threw a stick of wood on the fire. So
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and you remember we cooked, Jan had soup.
She had made soup the day before so that she could heat it up on the wood fire if we lost power, which we did.
Which we did.
Yeah.
And so we ate soup there a couple nights, and it was hot, and we stayed warm. And so there's something to be said for firewood. You know, it is a very secure feeling to have a big pile of it laying out in a shed. Keep the rain off of it, and it'll burn a lot hotter, and you won't get as much soot in your chimney. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here. The boys and I are ready to call it a day, and we're going to go move the mob. And everyone have a good one. Hit that subscribe button on the way out for you new subscribers, and we'll check you out down the road.